All right, so hey everyone, this is Fabio here. Hanging out today with Jaume. He's a Mallorcan,
Yeah.
DJ, producer, really good friend of mine. We've known each other for what, 3, 4 years?
4 years already, man.
Yeah,
Time
it's been a while.
Time flies.
And today I'm gonna ask him a few questions. We're gonna keep it, nice and short, and see what's up. So let's dive right into it.
Yeah.
The first question that I thought of for you is, you have, like, from the music that you do, I can see that there's a lot of different influences background wise. I was curious about what was your upbringing like musically, and what kind of actual musical background do you have?
Yeah, I started like very early. I think that the first time that I touched an instrument, or in my case was the piano, I was like 2 years old.
Okay.
And it's because in my family everybody is an artist, right? Especially my dad's side of the family. So I grew up having a piano at home.
Mm-hmm.
And my auntie is a professional pianist. My dad is a very, very good jazz pianist. So when he was back in the 80s, he was playing in university, like to also to have a good time, and he had a jazz band. So I think that I started very early. And then I think that after that they noticed that they liked that I liked piano, right? And I started just taking courses. Then more or less when I was like 5 or so is when things get a bit more spicy, because in the end they just realized that I really like to play, and I was like I was good technically, just because like being 5. And I guess that this is a story that will resonate with a lot of people in the end. Like you are good at an instrument because you feel like it's like a toy.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And then just things get complicated, right? Because you need to start putting a lot more effort. They put you pressure. I started going into these music schools. Then I ended up in Mallorca. There is a very big music school that I ended up going there, and it's how's it called? Like internat, in which you are living there. Yeah. Just living there, and it was like music,
like a residency thing.
Correct. And in the end, I spent like most of my days playing music, but I just got bored. It was not like that fun thing anymore. But yeah, since I was 5, more or less, I would say I started playing piano. Then of course, you hit your teenage years, right? And I started loving house music, and in the scene in Mallorca was more like tech house. But yeah, 90s house, this kind of stuff also was like hitting very hard. So I started getting into it, and then at some point I wouldn't even know how to say it, because I don't know, right? Like just because at home there was lots of synthesizers, my dad loved them, lots of pianos. I started getting into it again because I wanted to do electronic music, but every time that I was trying to do electronic music, it didn't go like that, right? Like I was trying to do electronic music, but I was ending up playing the piano, right? Mm-hmm. So that's how I ended up. I started mixing a bit what was like piano and electronic music, and then of course, suddenly artists like Casmos, Niels Fram, like all these neoclassical music started like booming, I would say, and I felt like very identified with it, and then I said that's exactly what I want to do. So I got inspired, and I started producing my own stuff.
Sweet, man. And that makes a lot of sense, because from everything that I've heard from you and we worked on together, it's always very cinematic and very, like orchestral in a way.
Yeah, that's it. For me to make music, it's like making a story, right? But it's because I got nurtured from the classical music, right? And classical music is nothing else than like trying to build a story with the music, right? Mm-hmm. And so things are getting cooked very slowly, right? Like symphonies have like an entire history behind, and then of course if we're going into opera and this kind of stuff, even makes more sense, right? So I just try to take this kind of Canva and move it into electronic music, because I thought that there was like a lot of potential, right? Mm-hmm. In the end, it's just more like a sound design thing rather than the style itself. And just try to do that and see how it was going.
Sweet. Well, moving on to the next question. I know that you had to take a little time off of music for the last like 1 or 2 years. You're focusing on something on the side, but you're back now, and I was wondering how do you like, how are you feeling about this? What's your inspiration like? How does this break motivates you to write new music?
Yeah, I think that is also something that most of the people will understand, right? Sometimes responsibilities kicks in, and to me, I had this point in which I had to take a decision if I wanted to pursue a career in music or if I wanted to do something else and just enjoy with music. And since I was a kid again, right, I think that this hit me hard to, you know, to feel this having a music like a toy, like something to enjoy rather than, you know, make it your out of a living, because in the end it can fuck up the inspiration, right?
Oh yeah, for sure.
But in the end, you know, responsibilities kicked in again, and I was completely unable to have a proper studio. So in the end I was like feeling very frustrated. I couldn't have this sense of playing well. Unfortunately, right now, music is also about having some gear, especially if you are, you know, like used to work in a kind of setting. Even if you are using the most stupid things to make music, right? Even if you are just sampling with a microphone and I don't know, like you know, like hitting stuff on the street, right? You need at least a good computer so you can process stuff, right? And to play around. And I just got into a bad financial situation. I mean, not because it was like super bad, but I had to prioritize to continue my career. So it was difficult for me to find this kind of setting in which I was saying I'm back again. Now, fortunately, things, you know, like got better, and I finally got again into a studio, right? I bought new gear. Nothing super special, but you know, like a small thing that I can start again. And then I just realized that I had so many projects that I loved that I never released, right? So I just decided to start from there, and I said, okay, I learned a lot. These are my first projects that they never seen the light, right? I think that it's time to just take them back and see what I can do with them.
Sweet. That sounds exciting. We're definitely gonna have some fun listening to some stuff later on. Well, I think this almost wraps up everything. Is there anything else that you would like to touch on as a conclusion? Any way for people to reach out to you or to listen to your music? How can people find you?
Sure. Actually, during the last years I've been releasing some music under the name Jack Ross. And people can find me on either Spotify or any other platform. I think that I'm basically in all of them since the label's released there. And right now I think that I have not too much to say because I'm just starting again, but I think that very soon I will be able to say that I'm releasing my new album, which is something that I wish to do already for long ago. So it's being cooked. Still, it's not there. But I think that pretty soon we will be able to at least announce the teaser and to say that it's gonna come. So please feel free to go to any of my socials and reach out there. Probably you will be able to sell the album soon.
Hell yeah! Right. So I'll link all the socials down below. And this is Jaume. We've had some fun. See you next time.